There was some good questions that came to me, and I'm going to put it on the live, and all kinds of things went on. I even went to breakfast this morning with Anna and Amina, and I got pancakes, and I took a nice little bite, and I thought a lizard was in my mouth. Something wiggled. I wanted to throw up. The place was crowded, and I grabbed it by the tail, and it was really, what do you call them, the hash browns. One of them was baked really hard. It was black. It was stuck. When I pulled it out, I just almost threw up. And the waitress came over. "What's the matter, Mr. G?" "I think I got a fucking mouse I ate just now." It wasn't a mouse. It was a piece of hash brown. But it was overcooked and fucked up. So that's how my day didn't start like that. That was like part of the day. And there's other things I'm going to talk about in my day that happened. So we're going to get started today, and I have usually some questions that we didn't answer and stuff like that. Shoot. Wait. Let me take that back. Don't ever say shoot in my place. Let's go. How's that?
Perfect, Sammy.
All right.
All right, Sammy. We have Vinny Detroit. This is from last week, everybody. So anybody who didn't get their questions asked last week, I'm doing them right now. He says, "Hi, Sammy. Nice outfit. Much love and respect for you and the team. Just wanted to give you a shout out." So that's just a shout out from Vinny.
Thank you, Vinny.
William L. says, "Thanks for a great podcast each week. I read a lot about the mafia over time. The history is great. I am from Sheepshead Bay and now live in Florida." That another shout out for William.
Great, but let me answer that. Sheepshead Bay. I used to go there to Joe's Crab House. I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'm going back a lot of years ago. It was one of the best places there. I used to go fishing on boats there, deep sea fishing. The boats were right across the street. I was going out with a girl named Louise, and I took her on a boat. We went fishing and deep sea fishing, and we hit some rough waters, and she got nauseous and she threw up on my arm. We still continued to date, but I thought that was a little rough. She's never going to talk to me no more. So, all right.
Okay, this next one, little pressure washing. So they wanted to say hello, but they were also asking how they can do a sit down with you. Do you want to tell them how to do a virtual Zoom with you, Sammy?
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say you can do a virtual sit down, and or Amina will explain what you have to do, because I don't know the details. So
okay, let me tell everybody.
Tell them the details.
Yeah, everybody that wants to do a virtual Zoom with Sammy, go ahead and head over to ourthing.tv. In our shop, you guys can sign up for it. Right now we have 20% off inside of our merch store, so everything is there. Go check it out, start signing up, and everything will be a go after that.
Good job.
Thanks. Okay, we have Infinity TME. "I grew up in Muncie, Indiana. I love hearing what you have to say about the street life. I got beat up once for dropping a clip. Is hood life similar? Is there any similarities between the hood or gangs compared to the mob?"
You dropped what? A clip?
Dropping a clip.
A clip? A clip out of a gun? A clip out of a... What?
Clip out of a gun.
Oh, yeah. That's fucked up. You drop a clip out of a gun, you can't shoot it, so, yeah, you're in big trouble. You pull a gun, the guy expects to get shot. He don't get shot, he's really fucking pissed off. He's going to whoop your ass. So that's a tough situation. There's not that many similarities between the mafia and a gang. I was in a gang as a kid. It's a free-for-all. It's not that we don't have rules and regulations like the mafia does. I think the mafia is much more sophisticated than a gang, and they're taught respect in certain things. When I was a kid in a gang, we would hang out and we'd be rowdy at night. People would open their windows, "Get the fuck out of here, go home." In the mob, we don't do that. You know, we respect the neighborhood. There's a lot of different mentalities. When I was in a gang, you know, if you didn't show up, somebody would steal your girl in 2 seconds. In the mafia, that's a death penalty, so you don't do that. So there's a lot of different similarities. They're similar because they're rough, I guess, but they're really totally different.
Perfect. So, Richie just showed me that dropping a clip means to empty out a clip of bullets in an automatic.
Oh,
Yep.
And you lost. You lost. You have to empty it out.
That's different than dropping the clip out of the bottom of the gun.
Right.
Oh, all right. You dropped it like, oh, you cut loose with that shit, bro. How did the guy feel? I mean, did you hit him?
Okay, moving on, we have Bob Gable. Some say Sam Giancana was the biggest boss in his time. Was he bigger than the New York families?
No, I think I answered that question once before, but I'll answer it again. No, he was a huge boss back in the day. Very powerful. He was hooked up with the Kennedys, and is hooked up in the murder of Kennedy. But even when he was hooked up with that, I remember that Tata was telling me he came to Carlo Gambino for permission and blessings and stuff like that. The New York Mafia was 5 families put together. Chicago family, they called it the Outfit. It was one family, and that was him. He was a powerhouse, no doubt about it. He was hooked up with Sinatra, the Rat Pack, and all of that stuff. But he was in a pimple on the New York Mafia. There's too many guys, too many families. He respected them and feared them. Everybody feared them. They were the main part of the commission, the 5 families. At that time, there was a lot of families involved in the commission. But New York was a powerhouse. I think anybody and everybody who was anybody, most of them came right out of New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens. I mean, New York was a tough place.
Okay, we have DC. What's up, Sammy? Have you and Michael Fran talked much? I only seen the last interview.
He's a friend. We don't talk much because he's always busy. He's going out of the country again on a tour. I can't get out of the country. I have trouble getting out of the state. I'm on parole. He's not on parole. So we're in 2 different spheres. I know a good part of his family. I met his wife, his daughters. He's got a great family. He knows my son. He's very, very close with my son. I even told him if he wants to adopt him, he could have him. But I want a big number because Mike's got some capital, bro. So I try to sell my son to him. But I don't see him. When something comes up, occasionally we'll text each other about it, you know. And but I don't see him often, no.
Okay, we have Atari Kid 74. Hello, Sammy. Any stories about Tommy Agro?
Tommy Agro, a real tough guy. I didn't know him well. I knew of him. I knew what he looked like. I saw him. But I didn't deal with him much. But I know in time he was a tough guy. Now, I believe it's Tommy Agro who went to that strip club in New York. Is he the guy? He beat up somebody who owns it and shaking him down for money. The guy killed him, shot him, and killed him. I think it's that. I think it's Tommy Agro.
Anna's going to check on that real quick.
Yeah, just check on that. If that's Tommy Agro, yeah, then there's a little bit of a story with him. I'll get back to it.
Okay.
So
You wanna
ask me
circle
another
back to that?
question while Anna's checking it out.
Okay. Broke M5 owner. Hey, Sammy, can you tell us more about your encounters with Chin? Also, would you have considered yourself as a dangerous or vicious man back then?
I had a lot of meetings with Chin. I had a ton of respect for Chin. He was a tough guy, no nonsense. Be respected, Cosa Nostra. He respected guys. If you played with him, you could wind up dead. Did I consider myself dangerous? I consider anybody who becomes a professional hit guy who really understands the role is dangerous. Was I vicious? No, I didn't get up in the morning and want to hurt people or do anything. But if I was coming at you and I had a contract and I'm a professional hit guy, you had a fucking problem. I was dangerous. But vicious, I don't think I was vicious at all. I helped many more people than I hurt. And even in business, I was trustworthy. I thought my word was more important than a gun. So I gave my word in business. I did what I had to do. Even when I went in the construction business, my thought was, be able to do the job. You could shake somebody down only so much. But if you're able to do the job and do it well, then they're not against you having the job. You don't have to threaten. You don't have to do that. Just be able to follow up, do the work. And that was my theory. I had no problems. When I cooperated, the government told me, how come none of these contractors or people you were dealing with ever ratted on you? I said, I don't see why they would. I did things with them. I made money. They made money. I didn't threaten them. We went to dinner a lot of times. We did business, not even with contracts, sometimes on handshakes. Why would they rat me out? What are they going to say? I made money with Sammy. Sammy did the job efficiently. I had never had a problem with him. And if there was a problem on a job, we always sat down and worked out how we were going to solve the problem. If it was a union problem or something like that, I reached out and tried to help him solve his union problems. So I wasn't very thuggerish in my business and in my dealings, and so.
Okay. Liam Patrick, what did you and John think when you guys heard the Patriarcha family making ceremony was recorded by the feds?
Well, it was a horrible feeling. That could happen to anybody. They had somebody that they proposed to become a made guy in the Patriarch family. The guy was bad. He was a confidential informant. They know that. Some of these confidential informants, they walk around and act like tough guys because they got a license with the government. So sometimes you can misconstrue that this guy's a ballsy guy, a good guy, not knowing that he's wired up so I think that's how they got caught up with the guy. I think he was getting made. It was at his ceremony. He told the government about it, and he was wired, and they picked it up. So it's horrible. And, I'm not against, people are going to say because you cooperate. I'm not against people cooperating if they have a good reason to cooperate. I hate a guy who wears a fucking wire. That to me is the most devious fucking disgusting thing you can do. You're walking around, you're getting people's families caught on that wire, you're getting your friends caught on it, you're getting people who are innocent to things. They're goading you in. Tell him that you got a load of shark skin suits or something. And this poor guy, oh yeah, could I make some money? All of a sudden he's on tape and he's in trouble. And he didn't even think about it. There is no load of shark skin suits. So I can't stomach that kind of a guy. It just gives me a whole different vibe. Talking about everybody knows you cooperated, you're upfront with it. You have a reason. A lot of guys have reasons. A lot of guys just don't flip. Some guys do. Some guys, this confidential informant shit is just horrible, I think. That's the worst form of cooperation.
Okay, we have Baroni. Sammy, I watched the Netflix show about Gotti. How did you feel at the time when he was conducting himself like that? And did you ever feel like the end was near?
I never liked the way he was conducting himself. All that flash in the pan, stuff like that, is against our lifestyle, period. We could dress up and look good. You could wear a little pinky ring, a nice watch if you want. But the flash of wearing, back then it was very expensive, a $2,000-$3,000 Brioni suit, a $200-$300 hand-painted tie, a fucking 5-carat diamond on his pinky. I mean, this is so overdone, and I think that movie pointed those things out With that, that has brought every part of the government together to slaughter us. And yeah, there's a lot of times I felt we're going to continue this. There was constant, no matter where we went, FBI, news media, you name it, state organized crime following us. I always knew it wouldn't end good. A lot of times I spoke to him. I was very close with him. I loved him at that point in life. And I said, you're making a tremendous mistake, John. We're playing into their hands. We're standing here like a bunch of mamalukes. They're taking pictures of us. This is all going to hit us in the face sooner or later. I would dress up with jeans, a t-shirt like this or whatever. I would wear construction boots during the day because I was in a lot of construction businesses. And I would carry a clipboard when I saw them because I always felt, show that to a jury. This is a gangster. They would look at that and say, looks like the guy's a working guy to me. So I wanted to stick it up their ass with doing it that way. The agents commented about me saying that they loved watching me, that when I was the underboss, I'd come out with sneakers, jeans, t-shirt, go in the schoolyard. There was young kids, teenage kids. I'd play handball with them. And they said I was a different kind of gangster, you know. And I try to keep quiet. I didn't sign people's autographs. I didn't recognize that I'm a gangster. Why would I sign people's autographs? I'm not an actor. I'm not a politician. I'm not, what am I? I'm not a gangster. I don't recognize that. I'm not supposed to. So why am I signing people's autographs and things like that? I remember talking to Anthony, and Anthony said that his father, Fat Andy, and Tony Lee made comments that he should be taken down as a boss for doing things like that. So I know that this hit the mafia in a whole bunch of ways. He thought that the boss of the Bonanno family, he just died not too long ago. Fatso there, what's his name there? Well, anyway, he was talking behind John, and I got caught on tape saying this fucking moron is wrecking the whole mafia. So he thought this guy was in his corner. There wasn't a boss around who liked John or respected what he was doing. It was always the guys who didn't understand the mafia, who thought it was a good thing to be, oh, he's pounding his chest, he's bragging, that's good. That's not good. That's not what we're about. We don't exist. We fit in with everybody else. You know, what do you look like? You get a sanitation worker, a construction worker, they're standing there, they got boots, jeans, you're standing there with a fucking three-piece suit or all duked to them, smoking a cigar. Come on, bro. You stick out like a sore thumb. Joe Messina. And Joe Messina got caught on tape saying, this fucking bum is wrecking the whole fucking mafia, what he's doing. Chin hated him. The Colombos didn't like him. I don't know, the Lucchese's hated him. Gas pipe. And so, you know, when I talked with Nicky Scarfo from Philadelphia, he didn't have too many kind words about John either. So I don't think there was a boss in the country, real mafiosos, did not like him and what he did.
Okay, thank you, Sammy. So Bill Curtis from, is it our thing, right? Mm-hmm. Did he send that in through our thing? So Bill Curtis sent in a question through our thing. He says, hello to all. Just wondering what you thought overall about that attorney that went after John Gotti, Diane what's her name?
Giacalone.
Giacalone? Yeah.
Diane Giacalone, she's a murderer. She killed Willie Boy Johnson. Willie Boy Johnson was undercover informant for years and years and years. And he got arrested with John. She wanted to bring it forward and try to make him continue cooperating publicly now. He didn't want to do it. The FBI, when you had that kind of agreement, they never give you up. So they said to her, don't do it. She defied them. She caused a split in the government. That's public record. And she put it out in open court that he was an informant for years and years and years. John just turned and looked at him Obviously, they knew now that he was a rat. John talked to him when they didn't have court. They went back to the jail. He was behind they call it behind the glass. You can't hurt him. John Gotti walked up to him and said, Willie boy, if you stay strong and don't talk, don't cooperate, I give you my word on my son, his dead son, that nothing will happen to you. You can't be back in the mafia. You can go to work, leave, do what you want. We won't come after you. We won't hurt you. And Willie boy refused to cooperate. He was sick about what she did to him. The government was sick about it. But this douchebag, and she's a douchebag, and she's a killer. She said it in the show. I know he should have ran. No, you should have never put him out like that. You killed him. Don't come off with some bullshit. He should have ran. You should have never did what you did. What you said there, you told him run because you're going to get killed. Yes, you were right. You knew it before. So his body laying in the street with 13 or 15 bullet holes in it, you did that, baby. You did it. You should be brought to a trial for what you did. And at bare minimum, I don't know how anybody in government or in private life, your family, anybody, could look you in the fucking face. You knew what you were doing. You did it anyway. For publicity, for your career. You thought you were being cute. Well, you were right. He died. And you did it. Forget about the guy who pulled the trigger. You ordered it like a boss. You put the order out. You put the contract out on him. Forget about who pulled the trigger. That's unimportant. What you did is important. And you never paid the piper for it, bitch. You should. So that's what I know about this douchebag.
Okay, let's jump into your super chats. Steve Jackson says, hey, Sammy, always look forward to Monday, to all your Monday sit-downs. Can you explain shylocking and was it worthwhile, time-wise, compared to other rackets as far as having to go find and collect from guys who skipped payments?
Well, listen, you try to avoid guys who are deadbeats, but you can give it to guys who make money with your money. Now, as I got up in rank, I gave out some big loans. I was fairly big. I had $1 million something going in the street, and it's a big income. You're charging 2 points, 3 points, or whatever it may be. It's a big number. So, but what I do is that if a guy's going to open up a numbers operation or a bookmaking operation, and they want to borrow $40,000, I give them the $40,000 on 2 points. And I'll make it a sizable payment every week until they pay the $40,000 back. But they're making money on my money. A guy wants to open up a restaurant or do something, so I'll lend him money to do it. I'll charge him maybe a little less, and I'm making money on my money. But he's making money. A deadbeat is a guy who's a degenerate gambler. He's always broke. If you're going to lend him money, yes, you got to run around, chase him. Not that he's trying to beat you. He's always in trouble. You know, I gave it to some deadbeats. I never really gave them a hard time. I remember as a kid, I borrowed money off a guy who became the consigliere, the Banana family, Anthony Spiro. He was a great guy. I was young. I borrowed money off him. I couldn't pay him. I ducked him. One day he called me to bed there and he says, Sammy, come here. He says, I like you. You're a great kid. He says, you owe me money. The only time I don't see you is when you don't have the payment. He said, don't duck me. Just come to me and tell me, Anthony, I don't have the payment. I'm broke. And I'll blow it off, and next week you'll get me with a payment. Don't worry about it. You don't have to avoid me. Now, there was guys who do that too. Anthony Spiro had a great heart. He did that. Did it to me personally. And I loved him. And the first guy I could pay was him. Somebody else, I make him whistle. But it depends on how you conduct yourself. Now, if you're going to give it to a deadbeat, you know, you got to break the loan down. What I would do is take the points off and say, let's say, 10,000. I would say, listen, you owe me 10. I'm going to charge you $2,000. No more points. 2,000 interest, you owe me 12. Whatever you give me a week, I'll keep deducting it off of the 12. So you give me 300, I'll deduct it. Give me 500, I'll deduct. So little by little, he's getting even. Give him a way to get even. If you're going to constantly be charging him that vig, and then double charging him or triple charge, of course you're going to have a deadbeat. Why would you want that? So some guys bullied and did that. I took Anthony Spiro's teaching to me as a kid. Not that he taught me, he did it. And I said that's what I would do. I had a guy, Joey, forget his nickname. Joey, he was a bartender, always in and out of trouble. And one day I went in, Michael the Bat, and a couple guys came to me and said, in tallies, and said, Joey's in trouble again. I said, yeah. What is he? Who's he owe money to now? Because I would straighten out his bills to get the pressure off, and then he'd pay me back. He said, but he took all the money out of the register and the sports money that came in, and he took off with the money and everything. So I called his cousin, who was a bookmaker, street guy. I said, his cousin's name was Mike. I said, Mike, come here. Get your cousin Joey on the phone. Tell him to come back in. I'll pay off his debts. The money that he took, we'll put it together in a lump. He'll get back to work. He bartended the two at the same time, and he'll pay back little by little. We did it once. Huck came to me and said, "Me want us to hurt him this time?" No, fuck no. He's just broke. He's a brokester. Why do we want to hurt him? He'll pay back. And Mike said, I don't know where he is. I said, Mike, I'm going to tell you, bro. Get on the fucking phone. You're his cousin. I know you know where he is. Get on the fucking phone. Tell him he's not going to get hurt. He's got money that he robbed. If he's got some of it left, give it back. I'll straighten out his problem like the last couple of times I did. Tell him to get the fuck back here. Don't give me this bullshit. I don't know where he is. I'm not going to say to you again. Now get the fuck out and call him. And he left. He called him, and Joey came back in. Everybody who stayed in ties would remember his nickname, Joey, whatever. I can't think of it. But anyway, we did that. So shylocking is good, but you want to be able to not choke a guy to death. You know, you're giving him a loan, you're making money, you're going to find some deadbeats, banks find it, everybody finds it. Try to stay away from or give a limit. You're a deadbeat, you want to borrow $400 or $500 from me, I'll do it. You're not going to hurt me if you never pay me the $500. But if I'm giving bigger money, I'm giving it for a reason. You're making money on my money, I'll lend you the money. And with that theory and what I found growing up with Anthony Spiro, I never really had too many problems with shylocking. I had one problem. A guy his name was Patinella, and he made appointments to meet me to pay me. He never came to the appointments, and it became a joke. And I was frustrated with it. And I was in the 1717. It was a bar on 86th Street, and he came in with a couple of guys who were with Joe Colombo. Not many guys, but they were street guys. They were already fancied. I was young. My friends, hey, Sammy, Patinella's here. And he look at the guys he walked in with. That was when Joe Colombo had the Civil Rights League. So he was working with Joe Colombo. So I went to him in the bar. I said, hey, Patinelli, come outside. I want to talk to you, bro. I said, you owe me X dollars. He says, yeah, I'm not going to pay it. Why? Because I'm working with Joe Colombo with the league, and I don't have to pay it. With the Italian American League? Yeah. I said, what do you think I'm with? The Jewish Defense League? Bro, you're going to pay me my fucking money. So he said, well, I was told that I really don't have to do nothing. I said, then you made appointments with me. I waited on the corner for you like a jerk off, and you never even showed up. So I said, for that reason, and I cracked him. He was completely shooken up, little blood coming out of his lip. And I said, put your hands down. Put your hands down. I'm going to crack you again, but I want you to put your fucking face out. Or fight me. Do whatever you want. But put your face in it. I'm going to give you another crack because you're going to pay me. I don't give a fuck what league you're in or what you're doing. You're going to pay me my fucking money. By the time I got done saying that, there was a guy came out. I can't think of his name. Big shot. You know, they weren't made guys, but they were big shots. They were older. They were with the mafia and with their suits and bullshit. It came out. Hey, Sammy, he's with us. I don't give a fuck who he's with, bro. I'll tell you the truth. I want my money. This motherfucker stood me up. That's why he got that crack. Now I'm going to break his fucking face open because I want my fucking money. How much does he owe you? I think it was $300. I say he owes me $300. He went in his pocket. He pulled out a wad of fucking money. 1, 2, 300. Here. He's even. Good. Good. All right, go ahead. Go, you can go back in the bar. As he was walking with him, I cracked him a slap. Just a slap in the back of the neck. The guy told me, hey, Sammy, what are you doing? Nothing. I just patted him on the back. What's the matter with you, bro? I got my money. I'm happy. I wanted to fucking eat it for life. But that's the only real time I had an actual problem. There was another guy, but I don't want to get into all these stories. But a couple of times I got into trouble with, I didn't like the attitude, like, in other words, fuck you, I'm not paying you. Like, you're just robbing me.
But why do you think he said that, though? Like, why do you think he felt he didn't have to pay you back?
Because he was with Joe Colombo with the Italian-American League, and he thinks I'm not going to do nothing. And I'm really not supposed to. I could get in trouble. And I think Joe Colombo, if I'm not mistaken, talked to me about it, and he says, is he even with you? Because this other fathead who paid the $300 must have told Joe Colombo. And I said, he's even with me. He said, what did you say when he said with the Italian-American League? I says, I'm not with the Jewish Defense League. He started laughing. Joe Colombo says, leave him alone. He's a fucking jerk. We use him for a lot of shit, Sammy. And I said, okay. Because I was with the Colombo family as well. I did a piece of work in the family. I mean, I was no, fucking jerk off there. No, he just wanted to rob me and use his name.
Yeah. Okay. We have Mets fan in the super chat. Hey, Sammy, did you ever go to L&B Spumoni Gardens back in the day for the best squares in the country?
Absolutely. They were the best pizza place. And I loved their lemon ice. They had great lemon ice. They made it custom made. You couldn't get a better lemon ice. They had pizza. They had a little garden in the front with tables and stuff like that. And every hot fucking girl in the neighborhood used to hang out there. It was a big hangout. And so I loved it for that reason too. Gerard, did you get me a cigar? Yeah. I'm choking to death, man. Get me a cigar. Give me a cigar. I went to the store. I said, please get me cigars. I ran out of cigars. I'm dying for a cigar. He's drinking soda and hanging out, farting around with the dog.
Okay, we have a shout out for Prince of Exposing. First time in your super chat.
Prince of Exposing?
Yeah.
All right.
And then we have Jacqueline Moore. Shout out to her. Just want to show my appreciation for the time, effort, and honesty you bring to the show. I'm born in Harlem, raised in Brownsville and Flatbush area.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words. You know, that's why I love this Q&A. I really do. I almost missed it. I want to just give it to me. What are you, embarrassed to be on the thing? Come on, this is my son. Fat ass, come on.
Gerard makes an appearance. Oh, no, wait. His hand did.
His hand came in?
His hand.
That's my son's hand. You know, let me tell you something about my son, and I'd like you guys to answer, because he's a tremendous cook. Now, he went to school to be a chef, but he's a cook. My father-in-law is a great cook, and he taught my son a lot of his tricks. My mother was great. And when my mother passed away just before, she had a thing she gave me was recipes. I put it away. I don't cook, but she was a great cook, and I gave it to my son. So he's got her recipes, my father-in-law's recipes, and they helped him. And my son is a great cook, and I break his balls to open up a cooking show so he can give out recipes, and like Rayo's makes sauce and stuff like that. And they do a good job, and they expanded. Now they sell sauce and pasta, and I'm telling them he could do the same thing. The other day he cooked pasta, and the sauce was just exquisite. And I thought it was one of those Rayo sauces. They're good. They are good. And I said, wow, which blend is this? This one is great. And it was him. He made the sauce. And I told him, Gerard, you are so fucking nuts. Do this. You make sauce and stuff and food. In the office, the girls will tell you, he's a great cook. I mean, open up a cooking show. Eventually, you can make sauce. You sell the sauce. You sell the pasta. And you'll be, I'm telling you, people will love you. Now, for the guys, if you tell them to do it, it's like talking to a fucking a mameluke. He ain't gonna listen to you. He ain't gonna listen to me. But if you women that are listening, call him up. Gerard, could you cook? He'll do it. He'll do it. So he'll probably do it. And Gerard, if you don't, I'm gonna put out your phone number, your address where you live, your car you drive, your plates, and I'm gonna have everybody in the country breaking your balls. So you do it, or that's the threat. So he don't even want to smile. He don't want to crack a smile. All right.
Okay, give John Simp a shout out. Gave you a generous envelope. Said, get some lunch on me. Love you, bro. Been watching your videos.
Thank you so much. Listen, John, when you're giving me lunch money, I eat like a fucking horse, bro. I just be careful.
Okay, we have, let's see, Sean Deaver, 77. How did you and Nate Boone Craft get along? What
Who?
did you, Nate Boone Craft?
Nate Boomcraft? Is that any relation?
Or what do you know about him? He said, how did you guys get along? What do you know about him?
Nate Boomcraft.
Craft.
I don't know. Is he related to Kraft cheese or something? I don't know. I don't think I know him. I'm not sure. Listen, I get along with most people, and I really, really do. It's, you know, the people I really remember is people I don't get along with and I don't like. They seem to stick out a little bit more to me. But I might have known this guy. I don't know his name that way. We might have called him under a different name, a nickname. But I'm sure he's not one of the guys I don't like.
Okay, we have Jay Marie in the super chat.
That's my man.
Yeah, hey Jay Marie. Sammy, 1 year back in the day, we had a legitimate business and a friend brought tremendous heat. The DEA, SWAT came and kicked our asses. Lucky we didn't have any for them. That's some scary shit, boss.
Yeah, see, and these are guys, I mean, you had a business, you were making money, whatever you were doing, and now somebody wants to expand and do drugs and they bring down heat. And before you know, yeah, you're making money right away. It's big money in those things. But then it blows up in your face and it wrecks everything. Even the thing you had that was a little bit of a gold mine, you lose that too. So, you know, all the guys, Jay Marie, you're a good guy, you're a stand-up guy, tough guy. Tell your friends, and you got a lot of friends. Listen, when you got something going, leave it alone, go with it, enjoy it, run it. Don't go into these other areas because those are the things that'll take you down. You know, you got enough brains as a street guy, be a tough guy, and you're doing something legit, honor it. Use it. Take care of it. Keep it clean. And that's my advice because, you know, and I had that greed bell too. You know, a lot of times I was doing things and then I'll do something else. I don't even know why the fuck I did it. And it blew up in my face and I lost everything. The Plaza Suite, I lost the Plaza Suite. I lost my farm that my wife and my children adored. Because I got caught with tax evasion, I lost everything like a schmuck. So, you know, sometimes you got to just back up a little bit. You know, I talk about Chapo. He was a billionaire. Slow it down, bro. Walk away from the fucking life. Give it to somebody else. Get some senoritas and go to Spain. Live out your life. A few of them hot Mexican broads and just relax, chill. Back up. But, you know, a lot of times when we're doing things, it's hard to back up. and it is hard not to take the next step to make a little bit more. But remember, that little bit more is a lot of times that's the key for you to go to prison and lose every fucking thing. I've done it myself, so I'm talking from out of stupidity.
Okay, we have Durcio Ferreira. Hey, Sammy, you did time with Flores twins and played chess together. I found out while listening to their podcast, Surviving El Chapo. Love from Boston.
I did time with both of the twins who testified against Chapo. You know, they were twins when they first came in. I'll never forget it. I was sitting in the kitchen at a table eating with a few guys, and they told us, because there was a lot of law enforcement, they tightened the whole place. They treated them like they were, you know, heavyweights. And they said they were twins. So I was sitting down eating, and they got online, and their turn came to come up, and I saw them. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, boy. You could not tell the fucking difference. Now, I got to know them, and I got friendly with them. One of them had a tattoo on his neck. I don't think it was P, it was the other one. When I was talking with him, I used to pull his shirt, and I knew which one it was by looking at his tattoo. That's how similar they were. Then they were there for a while, and then they split them up. The one I got along with better, he was sent somewhere else. The one I didn't get along with that good was in the place I was in. I got into a couple of beefs with him. You know, and then in the joint, he was like literally almost running the joint. He was, you know, he had all kinds of money, even in prison with commissary, doing all kinds of shit. I'll never forget, my niece came on a visit. I went on a visit with my niece, and he was there with his wife. She had a fucking rock on her finger, diamond fucking earrings. I don't even know how the prison let her in like that. So my niece said, look, Uncle Sam, look at that girl's ring. I said, I know. They have a lot of money. And she says, I like to jump over and bite it off. My family's like little gangsters, even the girls. Like. So I said, no, shut up. I know him. He's a friend of mine. Then I talked to him when he came in. She came in with a Bentley, I think. And everybody's looking. Everybody, you're flashy. She was a good-looking girl. And I told him, bro, you can't make your wife come in like that. You're sitting down with all crooks and gangsters and shit. They're looking at that. Lo and behold, a Puerto Rican guy got in touch with his brother, told him to come in, told him what kind of car she had, what she looked like, everything. Matter of fact, the brother saw her on a visit too. So what they were going to do is when she pulled out, they would follow her, crash into her like an accident, right? A little bit. Get out like they're going to show it, and then rob her. Take the rings, take her jewelry, take her money, take everything. They got caught in this plot. It didn't happen. Thank God. But I told him, I said, see, you got to come in here. Let her go rent a fucking Volkswagen or something, a beat-up one, an old one to come in. Don't flash in here. You know, and one time I was with my daughter, I hope she's listening to this. She was on a visit with me, and he owed me some money. And I made him tell his wife to bring down $800. It was for artwork and shit. Bring down $800 and give it to my daughter when they leave the visit. So I told my daughter, who wanted to leave early, I said, no, you can't leave early. When the visit's over, you go in the parking lot. I forgot her name. She's going to come. She's going to give you an envelope. It's money for me. They owe me. So stay here until you can collect that. She says, okay, Dad. She stayed. So he's asking her, they're not that far from us. And he's asking her, did you bring the money? Oh, no, I forgot. And I'm saying, you fucking forgot. I made my daughter stay a lot longer than she wanted to stay. And I'm steaming a little bit. And then she turns around, she tells him, why do you have to give these peasants money? My daughter heard peasants. She said, is this fucking cunt talking about me? peasants, I'll break her fucking face. I grabbed her by the arm. My daughter's a tiger. I said, sit the fuck down. We're in a visiting room with guards and everything. You hit this fucking girl. I'm going to hit him. There'll be a revolution in this room. You'll never come back on a visit, and I'm going to be in the hole. Stop it. So what? Whatever she called us, don't worry about it. She's a jerk off. And my daughter sat down, but she was biting on her lip. She was growling. She wanted to get at this woman. Then I told him on the inside, I said, bro, I tell your wife, bro, I'm no fucking peasant. My daughter's not a peasant. We're not peasants. You're a fucking peasant. You just got money because you're a drug dealer. But to me, you're a fucking peasant. You and your fucking scumbag wife. All you's got is money because of drugs, but you's a peasant, bro. And that argument stopped, so I did time with them. I'm very friendly with the other one, not the guy P, the other one. And even P, I mean, he set me up for a fall to get moved. I did 8 months in the hole because of him. It was a phony fall. They said that I was in touch with Chapo, and I reached out to people to kill him, his brother, their wives, and their children. And the government came down on me like a fucking hammer. I was 8 months in the fucking hole. And finally, some of them admitted that it was a fucking fake. Because as soon as he made that fake, they locked me down and they moved him to where he wanted to go, which was closer to his wife. That's all it was about.
So all they needed was the allegation?
That's all they needed. Matter of fact, got in touch with my lawyer. They had a prosecutor from, they come from Chicago. From Chicago, they had the interior investigative team was there. DEA was there at the meeting with me and my lawyer. And we had this meeting. And I'll tell you, the head of the prison security, he got a turn to talk. And he said, I investigated this. And it looks like Sammy and him had an argument. And this whole fucking thing is bullshit. And he's never reached out to Chapo. He doesn't know him. There's no communication between him and Chapo. They don't even know each other. This is bullshit. The DEA agent said to the Chicago prosecutor who was handling them, I'm embarrassed to be here, Sammy. I've investigated it as well. I mean, I'm actually embarrassed to be here. And then he shut her up. All right. And then he told my lawyer, listen, we're not going to press charges against you. We're not going to indict you. But if they get hurt, you'll see us again. I said, listen, I would like you to suck my dick on your way out. How about that? I don't give a fuck about your threats. Don't threaten me. You heard from the people who investigated, your own investigators, told you that nothing happened. It was a bullshit argument. And he used that to move him. He fucking played you. And you want to threaten me? Go fuck yourself. I'm in the hole 8 months for nothing. And he left. And a week after that, the warden came in, grabbed the unit manager, said, get him out of the fucking hole and put him back in the unit. The unit manager said, well, one of the guys who verified that it was a witness against Sammy is still in the unit. So I interrupted right away. I said, warden, that don't bother me. I'm not going to do nothing to him. But if he's afraid, move him. Why am I going to stay in the hole because of him? I won't hurt him. But I'm not staying in the fucking hole. I did nothing. Now I'm going to stay in the hole. This guy wants me to stay in the hole because there's a threat to him. Then move him. If he's afraid of me, let him move him. The warden turned around to the unit manager and says, go talk to the guy. If he wants to be moved, move him. And get him out of the fucking hole. And that's what happened. The guy reached out to me. I don't want to say his name. I'm in touch with him now, believe it or not. And when I got out, he came over to me right away, apologized. He said, paid the kid there, gave him some money, and he verified that I was threatening that I would kill. I knew Chapo, and he was lying. He then admitted to the prison that he was lying. So I said, all right, you did what you had to do, and you got money. Me and you, it's completely over. There's no beefs, there's no problems, and you can leave or you can stay here. I don't give a fuck. I'm just happy to get the fuck out of the hole, get back in population, play a little ball, see the fucking sun a little bit. So you could stay or you can leave. You do what you want, but there's no threat from me. I won't hurt you. And I did time with them.
Wow. Okay, let me give you some quick shout outs, or you give quick shout outs. Carol Biondo in your super chat. Give Carol a quick shout out.
Hey, Carol. I thought you were going to go on.
Well, the next one I had
I was just puffing.
Hey, Carol.
I was in the middle of a puff. I almost choked to death.
Okay. Lucretia YT. Mr. Sammy the Bull, you are a national treasure. Much loved by so many. Stay exactly 100 as you are.
I appreciate that, and I try to do that. I try to be honest. I don't talk great all the time, but I try to be honest in what I talk about and what I say. I know I got guys hammering me every once in a while because they want me to respond. They could kiss my ass. I'm not going to respond. I would respond if I saw them. There's one guy who was breaking my fucking balls, and he came to try to fucking put my pressure on me. I think my son slapped the shit out of him, and he ran away crying. my son is no joke. He don't want to fight people, but he's a tough kid. He did time. Did 7.5 years on the ecstasy case. He got pinched a bunch of times. He's a good-hearted kid. I call him a kid. He's a man, good-hearted man. But if you fuck with him, he did box in the ring. If you fuck with him, he could slap the shit out of him. He didn't even punch this fucking jerk off. He just slapped the shit out of him, slapped his phone out of his face. So. And I told him, leave them alone. Leave these people alone. Let them just chirp. But
Okay, let me give you a few more. El Gato. Hey, El Gato.
That's my man.
Zu Sammy Salute. Hottest woman in New York in the 80s. Grazie.
Grazie.
Give him a name.
Oh, who was that?
Who was it? He wants to know who's the hottest woman in the 80s in New York.
The hottest woman in the 80s in New York. Oh, Gato, there's 8 million people in New York. The hottest woman. I could pull out a list that'll go down to the floor. There were so many hot women, good-looking women.
Gastineau?
Gastineau was, John Gotti went out with her. Her husband was a football player. They broke up. She was drop-dead gorgeous. She really was. I went to meet with John. He was already sitting with her. I never met her. I got to the table. I sat down. I was like, with my tongue hanging out. Sammy, this is Lisa Gastineau, and this, She was really beautiful. But there were so many really good-looking women. There's so many that were really nothing. They weren't actors, actresses, or anything like that. They just beautiful women. Some of them were bankers, they had office jobs and stuff. Some of them, I used to pass a comment. Some of these women I don't even know if they realize how good looking they are. They're not into it. Like a movie star, she's showing it, she's modeling, she's doing all kinds of things. But there's a lot of down to earth, just regular broads walking around that are just drop dead gorgeous. God made them. They're gorgeous creatures, And they're just different. They're soft. When they go to the bathroom, little petals come out.
Sammy.
I always thought that's what happens. I realized later on in life that don't happen, but I always thought that they had little petals coming out of them.
Mine does.
Yeah.
And
They're soft. They're cuddly. So.
Moving on. Okay, we have a very generous chat from Marcus Chan. Hi, Sammy. May I ask, was there a time that the bosses told you to do something you didn't like, and how did you cope with it?
Chad, it happened a lot of times. But I took an oath to the life, and I was going to protect the life. Normally, people broke rules and did things that they know they would die for or be in trouble for. And I'm not too sympathetic to that. I didn't break those rules. I try to be loyal to the life. I try to be loyal to my friends and people around me. I don't bullshit. I don't lie. I don't want to jack people up. But when you break the rules, I hate to keep going back to this, but Louis Melito was a good guy. I grew up with him. He was a friend. I used to go hunting, fishing. My whole family knew him. I knew his whole family. He betrayed us during the Castellano thing. Before we did it, Frankie the Chico wanted to kill him. I begged Frankie. He said, no. As soon as he comes out, we're going to kill him. Frankie got killed in a bomb explosion. Then I went to John, and he did come out, and I said, John, I know the whole family. His daughter would sit on my lap, call me Uncle Sammy. Please give me let me talk to him. He did this out of stupidity. John gave me the right, and I saved him. He couldn't meet with me. They wouldn't put him with me. They put him with, I became the Gunzlier. I made Big Louie take my position as a captain. They put him with Big Louie. He was abusive. He thought he should be the guy. I sat down with him. I said, how could you think you should be the guy? You betrayed us. You should thank God you're alive, bro. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Big Louie belongs in that position, not you. Well, he just kept on with his mouth. He talked with Joey Bellotti. We're in the same boat. Sammy's in a powerful position. We saved, me and Frankie the Chico, Joey Bellotti. Joey Bellotti grabbed Louie in. I'm not in your boat. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Sammy saved my life. And I'm not in that boat. Whatever you're talking about, you're trying to get somebody on your side, sympathetic to your bullshit. That came out, it went by. It came out he was abusive towards his captain. It went to John. It was for the third time. John called me in and said, this is what happened. I'm taking him out. Sammy, keep your mouth shut. I'm not asking you. It's an order. You're not even going to be on the hit. I got people who are going to do it. And I, like a jerk, said, could I be there? He said, why do you want to be there? I don't want him degraded. He's got balls. He's got too big of balls. Shoot him in the fucking head quick, it's over. No gorilla shit, no spitting on him, no kicking him when he's on the fucking floor dead. I want him to be treated like a man. I don't know what the fuck made me do that. If I didn't do that, it wouldn't have been on my list of being a murderer. But I went there and I made sure that nobody abused him, nobody spit on him, nobody did anything. He disappeared. It's a sore spot for me, but that's the life. When the boss tells you, that is it. You can talk for someone, but the rules are the boss tells you, you do it. You don't do it, you die. Now, I'm not going to die with you if you broke fucking rules. If I tried to save you and I can't, then you're going. I'm not going to die with you. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that were said that I didn't like, without a doubt. But I did what I was told, like a soldier. Like I would have did in the Army. I was in the Army too, in the military during the Vietnam War. I have nothing against Vietnamese people. If I would have went to Vietnam, I would have killed Vietnamese people because I was doing it for the country. I was doing it for all those bullshit reasons. I was trained to kill in the Army. And I wouldn't have liked it. We went into a village. I wouldn't mind shooting somebody who's shooting at me in the military, but going into a village and killing women and children, I would have choked on that. I never went to Vietnam, thank God. I never met a bad Vietnamese person. I never met a Vietnamese person in prison, so they're either super crooks or they're not bad people. The only ones I've ever met, Vietnamese people, are women who do my fingernails, toenails. They're all sweet. They're all nice. I've never met a horrible Vietnamese person. So I think even when the government, we went there, it was bullshit. But to get tangled up, would I refuse in the army to go into the war? No. Would I refuse in the mafia? No. I was a loyal soldier to the government when I was in the army and to the mob.
Thank you, Sammy. Okay. Robert C., first super chat from Robert. Hey, Sammy, I just recently finished your podcast. Loved it. Your story hits different. You got friends out here. Just wanted to say hey.
I appreciate it, bro.
Okay, and I just want to let everybody know that we are over the hour mark, so if we don't get to your question today, please be patient. We will hit off the next live with all your questions. But Sammy, here's one last question from Mets fan. Sammy, if everyone presented themselves like Carlo Gambino, the mob would never have had problems like. What are your thoughts?
Carlo Gambino was a great boss, extremely smart, extremely fair. He would give an order to kill, but it was like pulling teeth. He gave it as a last resort. He wasn't somebody, like John, I don't want to keep using his name, but like John Gotti, go kill this guy, go kill that guy. He didn't do that. He was very, very fair. And a lot of times he would have a guy, you reprimanded where you can talk him, abuse him for what he did, put him on the shelf for a while. Different things without using extreme violence. But some things you do in the life, if you fuck around with another friend of ours, meaning a made guy's wife, and you know that this is his wife, you're going to die for that. There's nothing that could help you. There's certain things you do in the life. The killing of a boss that we did, Castellano, it could be a death penalty. It was. It was for Frankie the Chico. It was for a lot of people. There's certain rules you're just not supposed to break. Actually hitting another friend of ours, you're not even allowed to fight. If I hit a friend of ours first, and he's able to hit back and beat me up, he could beat me up and kill me, and he will get justified, because I raised my hands first. And that's no matter who it is, whatever rank, made guy, captain, I don't give a shit who you are. That's a rule. We're not supposed to use bombs. Occasionally, obviously, with Frankie and Chico, they used the bomb. So people broke rules. We had good rules. We're not supposed to deal drugs. A lot of guys in the mafia broke the rule and did drugs, but we weren't supposed to. It was allowed years ago. Then there came a rule, no drugs. Paul Castellano's order was, you deal drugs, you die. So a lot of those rules, and guys dealt drugs. There's a lot of money in it, the greed factor. They'll break rules, they'll do things. I broke rules. I didn't deal drugs, but there's rules that I broke from time to time. I never lied or cheated my friends. That's when you're going to walk around with, I wonder if he's going to find out. I wonder what's going to happen. I never had that guilt complex. Walked around happy and good because I never did those things. And I was noted for that too. So the life is a great life. It has great rules, but there's people in the life that break the rules. Roy DeMeo became a serial killer. We killed him because that don't belong in our life. Gas Pipe became a serial killer. He didn't get killed, he went to jail, but he was put on the burn. If they could have killed him, they would have. If I would have got him in jail, I would have killed him. But, it's a great life with a lot of good people, a lot of ugly people. It's a brutal life. How do you control 1,000 guys? 990 of them are capable of killing. How do you control them? You can't. Unless you have rules that no matter how tough you are, how much of a killer you are, you're going to go if you break the rules. And once you face that reality, that's how it's controlled. Without that control, you'll have anarchy. Nobody will give a fuck. What are you going to do? Give me a slap on the wrist if I deal drugs? Then why wouldn't I deal drugs? Or fuck somebody's wife. I like her. She likes me. I'm going to get a slap on the wrist. That's going to happen. If I'm going to die over that, I don't care. Well, she could look like Marilyn Monroe. I'm thinking about as soon as I bang her, I'm going to get killed. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. So rules are important, and the consequences are even more important. And the mafia follows up on consequences. So that's a little thing of that. And, all you guys, you love the podcast and stuff like that. I am breaking Nick Pileggi and JJ's balls to do the history of the mafia with me. And if I do the history with the mafia, I couldn't pick better people. Nick Pileggi's 91. He goes back. He did every mafia movie. He has a book library in his house that's the size of a whole wall of books, research. And he was born in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I'm working with a few other people, writers now, on the things that I'm doing. The movie about Johnny Keys hit. It's going to be a movie. It's going to come out in time. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's going to come out. We're working on those projects. And my scripted story, the story like The Sopranos, the story of my life, we're working on that. I have a real good relationship with them, a good partnership. And I'm excited about doing that. And that's going to come out as well. And I'm working on all of those different things as we speak. Should I talk about this other thing with the... No?
We're
All right.
We're a
They're
little
ready
over
to
two.
wrap up.
Can
I
I
was going
say-
to tell you a great story. So if you're mad that I'm not telling the story, be mad at Anna and Mina.
Quick, let me just say something real quick, Sammy, to everybody. So to all of you guys watching right now, again, we have 20% off in the merch store. So everybody go in there, hit up Loyal20 is the promo code. So you guys get 20% off. All of the questions that I didn't get to today, I am so sorry. Wasn't in the chat much because I'm on the mic, but my lovely Anna was. And so we are going to wrap it up right now. Sammy, you want to take us out?
Yes. So I take you out my normal way. All you guys, you know I love you, and you know the way I wrap up. Adios, motherfuckers.